Hello, welcome to yet another episode of the WhoTubeShow. And today we've got a very special guest because instead of going straight into an episode, I think I might just let the sponsor introduce the sponsor. So this is the guy behind Easty Oaks. Darren, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Do you want to tell people about a little bit about your Easty Oaks website and give them the web address just quickly?
I am Darren. I run eastyoaks.com, which is a mix of EastEnders, Hollyoaks, Emmerdale and Coronation Street. I've been running it for about 7 years, and there's been daily posts for about 3 years. Every show, from Home and Away to Emmerdale, we talk about it, we write about it, what's happening, what's coming up. Just all the latest soap facts you'll find on there.
Awesome. And what's the web address?
eastyoaks.com.
How do you spell that?
EASTIAOAKS.com.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Darren. And that is our sponsor. So you've met him. Now we're going to learn a bit about him, and we're going to move away from soap operas because this is all about Doctor Who. So we're going to go into our icebreakers, and we're going to learn a bit about your favourites. So this is your favourites, and the first one we talk about is like your favourite episode or story. The reason I say that is because in the old Who, if you like, classic Who, there were stories over numerous episodes, and most of the time in New Who, it's one episode, sometimes two.
So, favourite episode?
Favourite episode or story?
For the modern era, it would be Doomsday from Series 2, because that ending was just brilliantly done.
It was the
music on that, the writing, it was just so well done, and it's one of those episodes I go back to regularly and just think it had the perfect ending, and they wrapped up the character, but then that wasn't enough, and then they brought her back again and again, and they kept putting her back in the show. So that perfect ending they kind of chipped away at by having her keep returning.
Yeah, I suppose you're right there. Although she's one of those, isn't it? It was a perfect ending, and I'm quite excited because my son's about to watch that. He's up to that now, and he only started being Doctor Who recently, and he's starting he watched Christopher Eccleston's. He's on the first season. He's just finished watching The Age of Steel. He hasn't got long to go until he's got the war of what's it called?
The War of Ghosts.
No, the war. The name of the buildings, I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't. Canary Wharf. The Battle of Canary Wharf. The Daleks and the Cybermen. He's about to watch that, so and I did say to him the end of Doomsday exactly what he said. Emotional to Hail to, brilliant. But then when she did come back, I was quite excited that she came back, to be honest. But yeah, you're right. I don't know. It's one of those things, doesn't it? It's like 1 minute you think, oh, that's a good idea. Next minute you think that's stupid.
One of the problems I find with Doctor Who, in my opinion, is they don't know when to write a character out and leave them out, because they've done this since the show rebooted in 2005. You can't think, oh, that's a great ending, they've gone, that's their time over. When in the next series they'll pop up again, be it in someone's mind in a flashback, or they'll find some way to write back into the show. An exit isn't an exit, and it kind of loses that impact after a while when they're getting a new companion, and then they find a way to bring back the previous one, and it kind of loses that impact.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Right. Your favourite Doctor, new and classic. So which is your favourite?
New one, I think, would be Matt Smith.
Okay.
The youngest of the Doctors, the youngest of the actors to play the Doctor, and he had a lot. He had big shoes to fill after David Tennant, and he really got into that role.
Yeah, he did.
Classic would probably be Tom Baker, because
Perfect.
that's how I started getting into Doctor Who.
Yes.
When I started watching the originals.
Yeah, perfect. My favourite too, so I can't disagree with that one. Your favourite companion, new and classic?
Oh, original would be Sarah Jane Smith.
Perfect.
Because she's generational. She got the original. She was in the new one. She had the Sarah Jane Adventures. So she kind of across the whole Doctor Who spectrum of old fans, new fans, and younger fans.
Yes.
And I think I liked Martha.
Yeah.
For a new companion. I think Martha was very underrated.
Yeah, I liked her too. She was good. She was good. Your favourite logo? I mean, it's a bit of a strange one, this, but to ask, but you know, people do have a favourite.
I think the original, like all the 80s, the 80s intro, that logo with Tom Baker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I agree with that. So you're basically saying everything I like to hear. So I'm
yeah.
good
I'm
with it.
very much a Tom Baker fan.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah.
Favourite spin-off?
Oh, Sarah Jane Adventures.
Okay.
I started to watch Torchwood. My reason for Sarah Jane Adventures is I got into Torchwood, and series 1 was great, series 2 was great, and then they kind of went in a completely different direction, and the show that they'd built up over the first couple of series wasn't really that show anymore, because it went very Americanized when they went to Miracle Day, and then they had this like week-long series with Children of Earth, I think it was.
Yeah.
With series 3, and it wasn't the show that I started to watch.
No,
No,
a lot of people have said
because
that.
the standalone stories worked great.
Yeah, but
and then they dragged them on.
Yes, it seems that way. A lot of people have that. So your favorite, like, villain or monster or alien, your favorite adversary to Doctor?
That would be a tough one. Probably the Weeping Angels.
Oh yes,
because they're generally terrifying, because it was a completely original monster. It wasn't a Dalek they'd brought back again, or a Cyberman popping up. It was something which was very unexpected when they first appeared.
it was.
And they're completely stone as well, so you never know where you're going to turn and where they were going to be next. So
yeah, it was
a new factor.
I think, and I think it was for me, it was the first time. I mean, I don't generally get scared with things on the TV, but it was the first time when I had a little shiver. Ever since the early days. Now, when you look back at the monsters of the early days now, they look awful. But back then they weren't, and even now when you look back, my son who's well into IT, when he looks back at the early 2005 David Tennant, Christopher Eccleston, around then, the CGI, he said it looks really bad in some parts, but then it was awesome to us, new. But that's what it's always going to be like. Right, do you prefer the Master or do you prefer Missy?
I think Missy in some regards, because she was the Master but amplified, and she was completely bonkers, I thought.
Yes.
And when they had Missy and the Master in that same episode together, it was unhinged. You don't know what you were going to get.
No, it was crazy. It was crazy. Right, now this one's a difficult one. So your favorite guest star. So this can be someone that's been in 2 or 3 episodes. Maybe they can be running, but they're not a fixed. They're not
Riley, Voyager the Damned.
Just what I said last week.
Yeah, but when she died, that was like when they killed her off. They got Kylie and Doctor Who, and then they killed her off. So that was a good Christmas episode, despite the death.
Yes, it was. And yeah, I last week the my guest turned that around on me. She said, "Oh, I don't know. Let me turn that around and ask you." And I went for Will Eiley. So that, well, same as you really. Right. Favorite version of the TARDIS, and I'm talking about the interior now.
I liked it when the TARDIS became human in Series 6, when Saran Jones guest starred, and
Yes.
they darkened the interior.
Yes.
Yeah, and I like it when it's like all like gloomy and very like low light. But I
Yeah.
think Christopher Eccleston as TARDIS number 9, Ninth Doctor,
Okay.
when they came back, because it was a lot more open than previous Doctors had been.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it was, whereas everything kind of happened around the console, you got a sense it was a lot bigger than
Yeah.
they'd previously had it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Right. Do you prefer one companion or more than one?
I think more. I think one companion,
Okay.
because the Doctor and the companion kind of bounce off each other, like
Yeah.
when Amy joined the Doctor, and it was the two of them, and she was trying to like, keep him in check when he would go off on one, and then Rory joined, and you could tell Amy wasn't happy, but yeah, it kind of works better like one on one.
Okay. Yeah, I think so too. I think so. Right. And last but not least, and I've had some strange answers that I didn't expect to this one. Jelly babies or fish fingers and custard?
Always jelly babies.
I have had quite a few people say fish fingers and custard and genuinely would
I've
prefer
never
those.
tried it. I think I should try it and see what it actually tastes like.
Really?
Yeah,
I,
I would try it.
I wouldn't. Anyway, the icebreakers have taken up more than half the show.
Oh,
So
sorry.
let's move on to the next. It doesn't matter because we're talking about Doctor Who, aren't we? So it doesn't matter what's where and stuff. Let's not be fixed on things. That's not the way to do it. We're having a laugh. We're having fun. We're enjoying ourselves. So, just firstly, when did you first watch Doctor Who?
I think it was early 2000s, just before the reboot started. I knew it was coming back on telly, and the very first Doctor Who DVD I ever picked up was Tom Baker's Horror of Fang Rock
Okay.
from Blockbuster, and I picked it up for £2. It was on sale, and I really got into it, and I started going back earlier and earlier, but obviously I was gutted because there's so many episodes that were missing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It,
which is really annoying to a fan, because there's ones that are never going to be seen again probably.
yeah, that's
But
true.
I watched Horror Fang Rock. I can't really remember the story now, but I
No,
liked it, and that was what got me into it. And then it came back on telly, and I think the first proper episode that I saw of the reboot was The Parting of the Waves from series
oh,
one, which was a great like end of series, end
and
of
then
Christopher Eccleston.
did you go back? Did you?
Yeah, and I went back and then I rewatched series one,
Okay.
but
Right.
it was great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. uh, right. So this is the most important question of it all, really. And this is, what does Doctor Who mean to you?
Well, it's kind of a cliche, but it was Saturday night viewing. You knew it was going to be on. It was always ran about the same time on a Saturday evening, and you were going to get something different in every episode. And it had such a loyal following already that it was peak TV viewing. You could go to it and not forget everything else, just enjoy 40 odd minutes of absolute bonkers telly. But
Yeah.
whether the story was good or bad, it was always something to enjoy.
Yes. Yeah. And you sort of melt into another world, don't you? When you watch it, it's very much that way.
See, I've kind of, because I know TV habits have changed and the way people watch TV has changed over the years.
That's correct.
But the way they've shifted Doctor Who from Saturday nights to Sunday nights in the last few years, and now it's on iPlayer at midnight, you've kind of lost that element of everyone gathered together to watch it at the same time, because now you've got Disney's influence in it and that market to cater to. They put it on iPlayer at midnight, so by the time regular people would watch on a Saturday night, half of it's been spoiled.
Yeah.
So you've kind of lost that element of it.
Yeah, that is a problem with shows like Doctor Who is the spoiler aspect, and that's I suppose why we have River Song with her common line about spoilers.
Yeah.
But it's right. Doctor Who is one of those shows where people just want to talk about it, but then also people. One thing that annoys me is when it hasn't been on the telly. Yeah, it's still on at Saturday night.
Yeah.
It's still on the normal television then, but it is on, like say, at midnight. But some people do like to wait till Saturday night and watch it at the time it's broadcast.
Yeah.
But you will find people that will do shows, maybe it's similar like this, you talking about it. They may talk about that episode because it's just been watched.
Yeah.
This is recorded on a Saturday morning, and then it goes out on a Saturday afternoon. They may say stuff about the show, but not warn fans beforehand. Yeah. So, you know, whereas I would definitely put a note at the top beginning of the screen, a screen at the beginning of the show, saying this show contains spoilers.
Yeah.
For, you know, and warn people, but so many people don't.
No, so that it was like it was family viewing, like for years when it started. Doctor Who was it was marketed as a kids show, I believe, originally.
Originally, yeah.
Yeah, like it's a kids show, family show, but kind of lose that element of everyone watching together when it's on at midnight. Kids and most families are not going to be up at midnight watching that.
No, definitely
So,
not.
and by the time it airs at 6, 7, 8 o'clock on a Saturday night, half of it's been spoiled online, and everyone's talking about what was on 12 hours ago.
Yeah.
So it's very much, I don't know, their own worst enemy by putting it up early.
Yeah, you have to avoid the internet for the day, don't you?
Yeah.
It's the same as when I watch, because I like Formula One, and I have to stay off my phone because I know that by clicking on anything, you know, when it's BBC News or anything, you'll know. I know that it'll come up as a thing that who's won it, and it spoils the race. You know, and I have done that by mistake sometimes, and it's so annoying. And it's the same as for Doctor Who. The spoilers are crazy. So now, we talk about being a family event. So now, I don't know your circumstances at all. But how do you watch it now? Do you watch it with a group of people, like yourself, family, or?
I watch it by myself.
Okay.
But it's kind of because of my circumstances, I don't have people around to watch it with me that would sit and watch Doctor Who. But it was one of those things where you just watch it together. Everyone would be around on a Saturday night, and you'd all watch it. And before iPlayer and everything came along, if you missed it, then you would either have to wait for a repeat or hope someone had videotaped it.
Yes.
Or Doctor Who came along. And
yes.
Thankfully, if people hadn't videotaped the show back then, a lot of the episode probably wouldn't be around because a lot of it survived that way.
Yeah, true. A lot, right? We talked in the icebreakers about your favourite story and episode. Let's delve into that a little bit more before we play a game. Tell me a bit more about. I know you said you liked it, you liked the ending and stuff. Was there anything else that struck you about the episode that made it become a favourite?
Or Doomsday.
Yeah.
The music as well. The Doctor Who soundtrack is very underrated.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Murray Gold is a genius.
Yeah, like his music and the way he scores episodes is so well done. And
Yes.
like you can, with his music, like you can close your eyes and listen to an episode, and the music that they put into it is just you can tell that he's got a lot of love for the show.
Yes.
So even if you're not a Doctor Who fan, as in you don't really watch the episode, if someone plays his soundtrack, it's one of those things you will enjoy it, even
Yeah.
if you're not a watcher of the show.
There's a very, very much a very emotional side to Murray Gold's music,
Yeah.
isn't there?
Yeah, like the piece of music in the series 2 soundtrack, which is called Doomsday, which they play over Rose's ending, was just, I think, one of the best pieces of Doctor Who music for me, and that helped cement that as my favourite episode.
Yeah, and to be honest, that music, the Doomsday music at the end, it's classical music. It really, I know it's a score for a TV show, but it is classical music because it's orchestral, and it really, you put that up against, if you didn't tell anybody and you put that up against the best of Beethoven or Mozart, you'd have difficulty in saying anything's better than the Doomsday music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the other reasons I liked the episode was the completely unexpected ending where Donna appears. Which is one of those rare times where they've managed to do something and actually keep it a secret from being spoiled before the episode gone to air.
Yes.
Because they filmed that with a very, very small cast.
Yeah. That was nuts when she appeared in a wedding on the TARDIS. Not expected.
But then they had to go back and refilm that scene because apparently there was some problem with lighting or whatever. So when at the start of The Runaway Bride, they've had to refilm the previous scene where she appears.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's something new that I've learned today, and probably a fair few thousand people watching this. So thank you for that. Right, let's go. Should we play a game?
Yeah, let's play a game.
Let's play a game. Now, I'm going to tell you a name of a Doctor Who episode. I'm going to read a Doctor Who episode or story.
Okay.
And you've got to either tell me or guess which Doctor it was.
Okay.
Okay. So the first one is the Sontaran Experiment.
That was Tom Baker.
Yeah, well done. Good start. Father's Day.
Christopher Eccleston.
Well done. The Hungry Earth.
Matt Smith.
Perfect. The Moon Base.
Oh. Was that Patrick Troughton?
It was, yes. It was. Well done. Black Orchid.
Peter Davison.
Correct. And this one's easy. The TV movie.
Oh, Paul McGann.
There's only 2 episodes. There's that and Time of the Doctor. I don't know what to do about that one. You need to get him back. Poor Big
See, one of the things I like about Doctor Who, but it kind of irritated me after a while, is every time I see this Doctor coming back or this companion coming back, and then I read it's audio. And Big Finish are great. They do some amazing stories, but it keeps getting me that it's not actually coming back, it's just the audio.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It would be good to have more of Paul McGann on screen, and being Doctor Who, there is absolutely no reason why not, because we've had David Tennant come back and he's played another type of Doctor, but is there any reason why we can't have a season of the 8th Doctor on
Yeah,
television.
there's a spin-off. That would be great.
Well, it doesn't even need to be a spin-off. It couldn't just be the normal show. Can't we just go back to watch what happened to the Eighth Doctor? Because it does. It's a time travel show,
Yeah.
so we don't have to watch the Doctors in order. If Russell T Davies said we're going to write some season of episodes for Paul McGann as the Eighth Doctor,
Yeah.
I don't think many people would complain about that.
I liked the Doctor episode a couple of years ago where he suddenly popped up. When it was, I think it was one of Jodie's episodes. I think. I can't remember the name of the episode. But he popped up and Sylvester McCoy popped up when
Yeah,
I can't remember the name of the episode, but it was a fairly recent one.
yeah. I something in my mind tells me, but I can't
Yeah, I
remember.
can't remember the name of the episode, but having like loads of the old Doctors appear, and even in small parts, it was nice to see.
I like all that when you see lots of
Yeah.
Doctors. It's always a good one. Right, the Aztecs.
Oh, Tom Baker?
Nope. That is our first Doctor, in fact.
Oh,
Yes.
don't know that episode. I can't recall that one.
Yes, one to watch then. If it's
Yeah,
available.
one to watch. I did have a massive Doctor Who DVD collection at one point.
Did you? I did too.
Yeah.
I sold it when streaming was sort of a thing. I got rid of it. Time Lash.
Peter Davison.
No. Colin Baker.
Colin Baker wasn't one of my favourites.
No, not me either.
No, he was rather rough on his companions compared to other Doctors.
Yes, he was.
And he did come across as quite nasty at some points.
Yes. The first Doctor did as well, didn't he, to be honest? But
yeah.
But I suppose trying to recapture, but I don't know, it didn't work for me, Colin Baker. He's a great guy and a great actor. He's been in so many things. He's done really, he's been brilliant. Yeah. I watched him in an episode of Hustle. He was really good. But I don't think it worked for Doctor Who, to be honest. But just something for you, right? There's 15 of them, and none of them are repeated. So I should tell you that. So there's no Doctors that you've got right so far, or heard me say, they won't be in any of these next ones.
Okay.
Rogue.
Rogue. Is that Peter Capaldi?
Nope. Ncuti Gatwa.
Oh, is that the ball episode? The one in the new series where he was at the ball?
Yes.
Because I know the story. I don't remember the titles of the new ones. They're not ingrained in my memory just yet.
Not yet. They will do though.
No.
What about Inferno?
Inferno. That was Peter Capaldi, wasn't it?
Nope. That was Mr. Pertwee. Mr. Pertwee it was.
Oh.
John with his it was a great episode actually. Now for one of the weird episodes, but
yeah, the Inferno one, that was like a 7-part story with the alternate reality.
Yeah.
I remember that one now.
There you go. It's what happens.
That was a good one.
With this sort of game, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not sure whether I like this episode. It's a bit weird. The Happiness Patrol.
Sylvester McCoy.
Yes. What about the Witchfinders?
Oh. That was at series 10, so that would be Peter Capaldi.
It was Jodie.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
I need to go back and watch some of the more modern ones. My older knowledge is better.
I'll photograph my list here, right? This could be your watch list.
Yeah.
Go
back and watch some of them.
Yeah. Jodie got put under the water in that episode.
Yeah.
They thought she was a witch. Right, here we go. I don't think you'll get this one wrong because we have been talking about an episode related to it. Army of Ghosts.
With David Tennant. Series 2.
absolutely. And what was it? What was the next episode after that?
Doomsday.
I thought you were talking something around.
That was, yeah, the Doctor Who messed up on that one because they put the spoiler on the coming next time trailer by accident by revealing the Daleks after keeping everything under wraps. They put it next time clip by accident.
It's a thing, isn't it? It's one of the things I said to my son the other day was when you watch these next time trailers at the end of the shows, it seems to spoil what's coming up.
Yeah.
It just seems to spoil it. And I'm thinking, why do you do that? Why do you just don't tell anybody? Just end the episode on a kill. There's no point in having a cliffhanger if you're revealing the next time bit what's going to happen.
Yeah, at the point that we saw that next time trailer, they hadn't revealed the Daleks on screen just yet, and they put the Dalek shooting people in the wrong next time clip.
Yes.
So we saw it before they'd revealed them.
Yeah, because
and they spoiled that for themselves.
The build up to it, to the reveal on the actual episode, was really, really strong. It was, it was really good. But we already knew what was in that sphere.
They revealed it.
Yeah, they revealed it. Right. What about the giggle?
Oh, that was one of David Tennant's newer ones.
It was indeed.
Yeah, that was a good one. I think that was probably my favourite of the trilogy.
Now the final one, right? And this is the name you've mentioned this doctor's name, I think either twice or three times already, and it hasn't been right. But this you should get, I hope. Robot of Sherwood.
That was Peter Capaldi.
Correct.
Because they cut part of the episode originally on TV.
Did they?
Yeah, it was originally cut on TV and uncut on iPlayer and DVD releases. But I think there was a real life tragedy that occurred, big accidents or something that was in the news before it was broadcast, and they cut it for TV originally.
Oh, yeah, I seem to recall that.
But it is uncut on iPlayer and on the DVD release. But I know that one.
I'll have to watch that. I haven't watched it since it was on originally, so I must watch that. I usually watch them 2 or 3 times, but I think there's a few seasons where I haven't done that. I don't know why, just time maybe goes away with me. Right, okay. Well, that comes to the end of our show together, and I think it's been really good meeting you, properly talking to you and learning so much about you and Doctor Who. And before this is a spoiler, but it's not a spoiler really because we're not. But to tell the audience that before the show, you were a little bit concerned that you already might not say enough or know what to say, or
I kind of either say too much or I don't know what to say and I get tongue tied.
But it was perfect.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it actually.
Yeah, well, that's why I hope that people do, because that's the whole point. It's a bit of fun. It's light-hearted. It's not serious. We're not pulling episodes apart. We're not doing analysing the show to find Easter eggs or anything. We're just learning about you, Darren, and the guests that come up. Just let people know we've got 2 more episodes of season 1. Then we take a very, very short break of maybe 2 weeks, and then we're going to have a couple of specials. Now we'll reveal that one of those specials will be with somebody that was a companion in Doctor Who for a while back in the classic Who, and the second person is a gentleman who wrote the TV movie.
Ooh.
So he has gone on quite a journey. There is a documentary called Doctor Who Am I? And it follows his journey. So he goes from liking Doctor Who to hating Doctor Who to liking it and getting into the fandom side of things eventually, and actually getting quite emotional on that show. But if you remember, people were quite very nasty to him about the TV movie. People that didn't like it, they were so forceful with their comments. So
Yeah.
there's no wonder he got like that. But we're going to be lucky enough to have him on the show. We're not going to talk about the TV movie as such. We're going to talk about his journey through fandom. So that should be an interesting special. And then we'll start season 2 a number of weeks after that. So you don't have to wait a year.
Lots to come up.
Yeah, lots to come up. And you don't have to wait a year with us to get season 2. It'll be a matter of weeks. But I'd like to thank you, Darren, and thank you for getting involved in the show, helping us out. You're a sponsor. I know it says paid promotion on the top. It's not that. It's you're helping us find equipment to make the show better, aren't you?
And supporting fans, I think, is the best way to. It's the best way to put that.
That's it. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you very much for being on, and you have yourself a very good day.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully we'll speak again. You take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.